Hello everyone. In this session, we will talk about matrix manipulations. Before we manipulate matrices, we first need to understand the size of the matrix, because this is very important. To get the size of the matrix, we can use the MATLAB size function, which is quite straightforward. We can say, okay, mat equals to this one, our own matrix, 3 by 5. And we can see the size mat. So what it is? 3 row, 5 column. The first position is number of rows. The second position is number of columns. Similarly, this matrix is 1 by 5. So we can say we use size. It can tell us, okay, the 1 row, 5 columns. Right. So this is a size function. Now we can manipulate matrices. So here I'm showing the matrix operators, the add, subtract. So these two things, we add the corresponding elements in the two matrices. This is element-wise. It is element by element, add, element by element, subtract. Right, so this is two matrices. We can do them together. And this multiply and divide and power, these are different. So when we do the multiply, this is not by element. We have multiplied one matrix by the other. What we use is called a standard matrix manipulation, multiplication, sorry. And this one, we call it the standard matrix inverse. This one is a standard multiple matrix multiplication. So this one, you need to know some linear algebra knowledge. If you don't know them, no problem. I will show them briefly later on. And what we use in this visualization, mostly are not them, are the element by element wise. So I will show you later. So this apostrophe means transpose the matrix. So when transposing a matrix, the row become columns. So for example, A12 now becomes A21, right? So the matrix is transposed. A, B with a square brackets outside, and A semicolon B with a square brackets outside. This means matrix concatenation. So it means we join two matrices together. So A, B means what? I join matrix A and matrix B horizontally. And when I do a semicolon, means I join matrix A and matrix B vertically. These are the two different ways. Okay. Now the size comes in, right? So if I want to join A, B, so the question is should the number of rows or the number of columns of matrix A and B the same? Row or column? So A, B should be the rows, right? The two matrices should have the same number of rows, so they can be joined horizontally. And when we use semicolon, the number of columns should be the same. And for add and subtract, the two matrices, the size must be the same. Otherwise, you can't do one by one. Okay. Now let's see if I want to multiply two matrices element by element, we call it in the element-wise fashion. What we should use is we call the dot multiply. So this means this element by element multiplication. So does dot divide, dot power. So this one, we do it element-wise, not consider the matrix as a whole. So we can see some examples. So this is matrix A. Now I do two things. First is that I only use multiply. This carries out what? Standard matrix multiplication. The second one, I use dot multiply. This carries what? Element by element matrix multiplication. So let's see what happens. A multiply A, this is the answer. And A dot multiply A, this is the answer. So clearly we can see this is 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4. So now let's see what does the other happens. So as we can see is here. When we use standard matrix multiplication, we go in this way. So this is matrix multiplication in linear algebra, and we get this result. So when we use dot produce, we do it element-wise, so we can see this one appears. Again, element-to-element power, so we can also do the same thing, right? The second matrix becomes the power of the first one, element-wise. So 6 becomes the power of 1, 8 becomes the power of 2. So we can see this is the result, right? So often we use this one much more than this one in this specialization. The last one, I would like to talk about the reshaping the matrices. So this means that for a given matrix, the content is the same, but I hope to reorder the dimensions. So there is a MATLAB built-in function. We call it reshape. Reshape with a parenthesis. The first argument is mat. We call it mat. The second is sz. So what are they? Mat is a matrix we want it to be reshaped. Sz is an array of my desired dimensions. So let's see an example. This is a matrix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I use reshape, mat, comma, square bracket, 1, 6. So more will appear. So clearly I want the 2 by 3 matrix to become what? 1 by 6 matrix. So how to do it? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5? Let's see what MATLAB give us. It gives us this. So 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, 6. Why? Why is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? This is because MATLAB, by default, MATLAB do column-wise order. So MATLAB always first consider column, then the row. So we can see first column, 1, 4, put it here. Second column, 2, 5, put it here. Third column, 3, 6, put it here. So that is the result. So remember, MATLAB always work by columns. So if I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what should I do? Right, so this is your after class question. So think of first, check the reshape function in the help file. Then you can think of using transpose, right? So you can try it afterwards. Okay, that's all for this session. Thank you very much.